Hello, I'm Stephen Cooley, and welcome to today's show. I'm very excited to have David Stelzl on the show with me, and David is our loan officer with Carolina Best Mortgage. And I wanted to hit on what Carolina Best Mortgage is initially, David. It's a new mortgage company that I'm involved in, that we are bringing our clients to the table and giving them, in this highly rate-sensitive market, the absolute best rate available, so people can, even though rates are high, and we're all sensitive to the rates right now, the best rate. And then also under the best closing cost and with the best service. And out there right now in this chaotic mortgage world, we don't have control of that unless we're in business with someone who has control of it. So David's working with our clients to get them the absolute best rate in this high rate market and getting them the best loan. You know, you need advice right now on if you should go adjustable, if you should get a buy down, if you should go with a fixed conventional, a fixed government loan like FHA, VA, and you really need to look at all those scenarios and apply it to, number one, your finances. And number two is how long you're going to be in the home. And some of these homes are specific for some of these loan programs. You need to know all those mortgage products out there in this current rate sensitive market. So thank you for coming on today's show. Absolutely. And giving us some advice on that. None of us know where rates are going to end up, but we know where they're at today, and we know they're not what they were 6 months ago.
That's right.
Yeah. And so someone said here recently, you're always saying it's a great time to buy a home, Stephen. Well, it was a great time to buy a home 6 months ago because rates were low and the housing market was booming. It's still a great time to buy a home because the housing market is still booming and the rates are the rates. And so the people who bought 6 months ago needed a home then. The people buying today need a home now because home ownership is so tied to life events. The first thing I want to say is they say marry the house and date the rate.
That's right.
What does that mean?
What it means is we can always change the rate later, right?
Yeah.
Get into your dream home now. We can change the rate later. Rates are always going to go up and down. They're not the most important thing.
Yeah, I always say people are not staying in homes 30 years. So don't amortize these higher rates over 30 years. And rates will go down. And you can call David back. He's got all your information and just refi at that lower rate when they go down to something that you're comfortable with. We're going to move on and talk about some other things specific to mortgages, David. So if I'm going to buy a home, when do I get involved with shopping mortgages?
You want to get involved as quickly as possible. So some of the best things that you need to know when you're going to buy a home is that any good real estate agent is going to send you to the lender to get pre-approved first. And the reason they do that is because we don't want you out there looking at homes that are not in your budget, they're not in your price range, something you're not even comfortable with. Now, not only are you wasting your valuable time, but you might fall in love with something and have high expectations and it doesn't even work out for you. Very important to see the lender first in regards to that.
I've helped over 14,000 local people buy and sell real estate in our area. The worst thing for a buyer to do is see a home they can't afford because everything now in their price range doesn't look as good. Homes are just like cars and everything else. You can always spend more money and get something nicer. Don't look above what you can afford. You need to find out what you can afford. David can tell you what you can afford from a great telephone conversation.
That's right.
And send you a pre-approval letter that seller is going to demand to see before he considers or she considers your offer, correct?
100%.
Okay, so I get pre-qualified, I reach out to you, I get pre-qualified for a mortgage. That pre-qualification letter is good as long as rates stay stable at what you pre-qualified me for.
That's correct.
So if you're going to take 6 months to buy a home and rates move, you need to get re-qualified. You may qualify for more home or less.
That's correct. You could qualify for less. Always come back to the lender, depending on it's been a month, even 2 weeks. You want to bring back that home so that your lender can run specific numbers with you, not only make sure it fits the parameters in which you were first qualified, but also make sure that you're comfortable with that payment.
Those hardcore, tough financial questions on that first call. What I need in front of me as a buyer so I can answer the questions to leave that call pre-qualified. What do you need to know?
I need to know first and foremost, what's on your credit? Credit is big. If you're going to be pre-approved for a home, if you know you're going to look for a home, it's important to start cleaning up that credit or keep it clean. Don't go out and start doing things that are going to throw red flags for an underwriter. That's one of the biggest things.
So from that call, they need to give you the data and information and permission to pull credit.
That's correct.
And then once you get that credit information and income information, correct? And you need that for all the people involved in buying the home, whether that's one person buying or two people buying or four people buying. You need all that information to pull everyone's credit during that call.
Exactly.
Right?
Exactly. Think of that as your profile, which is going to help me understand what type of loan and what type of home you can afford.
Absolutely. So have income information, permission, the details enough that you can pull credit, permission, and of all the people helping buy, if grandma's going to be involved in the purchase or a roommate or a spouse, you need all their information. And that way, from that call, you can leave pre-qualified for a price range, and David will go deep with what type loan suits you best.
That's correct. This is one of the biggest financial investments you're going to make of your lifetime. Work with your lender, work with your realtor. Everyone's going to work hand in hand to make sure you're in the most comfortable situation.
Right. And now once you get pre-qualified and you're on the journey to buy a home, some key tips, bullet points on things not to do once I'm pre-qualified.
That's a great question. Very important. So top 5 do and don't action items. Number 1, don't go deposit a big chunk of cash into your bank. That's going to throw a flag for the underwriter. Be careful with that. Number 2, don't change employment status. Don't do anything with your job to change what you're currently doing. That's part of the puzzle. Number 3, if you're renting, don't stop your lease. Don't terminate it until that closing date comes. You don't want to be out on the street or much less in a U-Haul truck. Number 4, don't do anything that's going to change your credit score. That's very important. We've qualified you based off that credit score. Don't open up a big ticket item. Don't co-sign on someone's house. Lastly, don't respond slowly to your loan team and don't panic. If someone reaches out to you with something you need to do, act quickly. Waiting 2 days to do something that takes 10 minutes could severely change the rate that you want to lock into.
Absolutely, and this applies to all people applying for the loan with you to buy the house. So if you share that with your roommates or your spouse or your significant other or your parents, it applies to everyone buying the home. David, Carolina Best Mortgage, giving the best rates, the best closing costs, and the best advice. The information's on here. We're going to put it at the bottom of the screen. David, if they want to reach out to you and launch that mortgage, how do they call you?
You can call us at 704-441-3351. That comes directly to me. Or you can reach us at david@carolinabestmortgage.com.
Absolutely. Thank you so much, David. Mortgage guy, recommended and endorsed by Stephen Cooley for the best rate out there. Thank you so much for watching today's show. Have a wonderful day.